Hey guys, hope you're all having an amazing day. I know I am extremely late to this topic, but I am understaffed at my work and I have been dying just with work alone. So unfortunately, that means a lot of this stuff kind of takes a back burner until I can make this more of my daily type of deal. But with that being said, last I talked to you all, I was sharing the good news about new news coming out for Halo at the Halo World Championships in October. And Halo Studios hinted at multiple projects being shown there, probably some game trailers. So a lot of us Halo fans and non-Halo fans, I guess just Xbox fans in general, have been really looking forward to that. But very shortly after they announced that, Microsoft had the layoffs, and that wasn't necessarily a huge surprise. There was some leaks, some rumors leading up to that, and Microsoft laid off a bunch of different people across multiple departments. One of the biggest ones taking a hit is, of course, Xbox. And with Halo Studios, it sounds like confirmed at least 5 people were laid off, which in the grand scheme of things, 5 might not sound like a large number. And to be honest with you, I have no idea how big Halo Studios is anymore, right? 343 went through a lot of layoffs years ago, and I don't know quite how big the studio is supposed to be. But either way, 5 people losing their job is not fun. And that's just 5 people confirmed. We don't actually know the total number. But with that being said, this is obviously not good news for Halo or Xbox, despite the fact that Xbox, according from the memo and just from what we've been hearing in general, is very successful right now, at least in terms of profitability. I have no idea what their market share is anymore. They don't really announce numbers in terms of console sales or anything like that. But Xbox being leaner, like Xbox as a whole department for Microsoft, being leaner helps them be significantly more profitable. And obviously that is the case with these layoffs as well, right? Xbox kind of said, hey, look, we're actually doing really good. We're making a lot of revenue, but they still ended up laying these people off. And it seems like this is going to be pretty obvious, but it seems like all of this is really coming from top down, right? So the executives at Microsoft pushing the whole company, including all its departments, all its brands, LinkedIn, Xbox, whatever, to be leaner and more efficient. Obviously, a big reason for this is because across the board for majority of companies out there, and by far, especially big companies, payroll is the largest expense. If you can cut payroll, even in small companies, it is huge on the impact of revenue, or excuse me, on the impact of profits. So when you look at a company like Microsoft, or any company really, if they can cut payroll by making the company more efficient, aka not needing as many employees, it's going to save them a lot more money and it's going to make them a lot more profitable. And of course, as we know, this is kind of becoming possible through the help of AI, because AI has been able to actually fulfill a lot of these workloads, right? It's not perfect. I think we all know that AI is not going to take all of the jobs right now, but AI is able to do enough to cut these jobs, which is really sad to say, but it is the honest truth. And that's why they're doing it. And don't get me wrong, don't take that as a statement of me approving or disapproving of any of this. Just literally trying to put it out there of like, this is what they're doing. We all kind of know that. I've heard majority of people say that, hey, this is layoffs because of AI and because AI making working more efficient, whether it's from existing employees or companies not needing those roles anymore because AI could just completely take those roles. Or the other way I'm kind of mentioning is those existing employees being able to get more work done with the help of AI, so maybe we don't need as many of them or something along those lines. There is a few stories or reporters or whatever I've heard that don't really blame the AI aspect of this, and I just think that's a little bit ridiculous. I think this is very, very obvious a restructuring of the company as a whole, but with a big emphasis on the efficiency that AI is able to increase. Is that the right way to say that? The increase in efficiency due to AI. That's what I'm trying to say. So this obviously sucks. I don't like to see anybody lose their job. I think that's probably a pretty common and fair assumption to say that everybody would feel that way. But with that being said, what does this mean for Xbox as a brand? I don't actually think that like Xbox is dying like people think. I think realistically, and I'm not saying I agree with this because I really don't, but realistically, the more profitable Xbox is able to be, such as by cutting a lot of staff and payroll, the more it's going to be around, right? Microsoft has kind of figured out how to run Xbox to be leaner and more efficient, and I don't mean necessarily in a good way. So therefore, they're able to milk the profits out of it. So no, I don't think that this is like the nails in the coffin for Xbox and that they're going to die and go away. And another reason why people believe that is because Xbox as a hardware is really changing. And that's kind of been the case for years now, right? This isn't really a surprise. But Xbox has been kind of rebranding Xbox to be not just the consoles that we buy, but pretty much any system that we play Xbox games on. So obviously PCs. Now with the new Asus handheld coming out, VR with the MetaQuest 3S, they made an Xbox edition of that. So Xbox as a brand is really evolving. Whether that's for the better or worse, I do not know. Right? Like I know consumer-wise, it's nice to be able to have multiple different platforms to play your games, including if you're like in the Xbox ecosystem. So if you buy Xbox games, being able to play it on your computer is really huge. That's what I do a lot of, right? I've pretty much switched from being a console gamer, as much as I still love consoles and still play on my consoles every once in a while. Majority of my time is on my PC. So being able to take those titles from one platform, aka like console, Xbox actual console, to PC is really huge to me. And in the future, I don't think that they're not going to produce hardware anymore. I just think that the rumors of Xbox, next generation Xbox basically being PCs, just pre-built by Xbox the brand, is probably pretty accurate. I imagine the next gen consoles are going to be PCs more so than ever, because pretty much every console is a PC. It is a personal computer, just customized operating system, a lot more locked down, hopefully more optimized for gaming. And in the future, with the next gen hardware, we're going to see it more aligned with general use PCs, just maybe focused on the gaming side of things, right? It's almost like buying a gaming laptop. But with that being said, I'm not trying to say that's a good or bad thing. I think it kind of depends. Obviously, with the launch of the Xbox One, which was like the most failed console launch for Microsoft, the big push they had was to make the Xbox more than just about gaming, and it did not work. So this may work for Microsoft or Xbox. This may work for them, and maybe they gain market share because PC gaming is becoming more and more popular. And don't get me wrong, consoles are still popular for a reason. They provide a good entry point into gaming in terms of price and overall experience as well. But it could also be the reverse, right? It could also really tarnish the brand, give up a lot more ground to PlayStation, and we'll see what the future is. I honestly don't know. But with that being said, this is a interesting time. A lot of crappy news coming out lately. Fingers crossed that October, when we learn more about the upcoming Halo projects, that actually goes really well, and that the next generation consoles hopefully go really well. Because ultimately, I don't want to see Xbox as a brand not succeed. I just want us all to have a better brand experience overall, and that goes for everything. PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, PC. I don't care. I play video games on pretty much everything. I have a PlayStation, I have an Xbox, I have a PC, I have a Nintendo Switch, blah, 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 blah. And I just want to see not just gaming in general get better, but obviously with a focus on my favorite franchise, which has been Halo ever since I bought an Xbox 360, like literally decades ago at this point. So yeah, hopefully things get better, and hopefully October brings some more good news. Anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I want to say thank you so much for watching. Obviously, I haven't, like I said in the beginning, haven't been making too much videos, but that's just because of the understanding at my work. And hopefully as that get better, as well as this channel gets bigger and I'm able to put more emphasis and focus into this channel, and like essentially as the channel get bigger, I'll put more effort into it, because ultimately the goal is to make this channel my main thing, right? But yeah, I'm rambling now. So thanks again. I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all later.